Jaren Jackson Jr. was the 4th overall pick in the 2018 draft. He's currently 23 years old and has already been selected as an All-Star. Today we'll be breaking down the game of Jaren Jackson Jr. and what exactly makes him an All-Star level talent. If you like NBA content similar to this, player breakdowns, team videos, compilations, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I do player breakdown videos just like this one, and I have a lot of other content to check out as well. Alright, that's enough about me. Let's talk about Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a 6'10" forward center. He could run either if needed, but what he excels at on the offensive end is shooting. Currently, Jackson Jr. is shooting around 35% from 3 and 50% from the field. For a non-traditional big man that takes a lot of jumpers, these are really great numbers. While Jaren Jackson is only putting up 16.7 points per game on the season, he is not the focal point on that offense. With the offensive 1-2 punch of Ja Morant and Desmond Bane, Jackson feels more like a 3rd or 4th option at times. Now, does that mean he isn't going to put up big numbers? No. In January alone, he put up 31 points against the Magic and 28 points against Indiana. So he is very capable of getting his own when he wants. It's just that with this Grizzlies team, it feels like Jaren Jackson Jr. is called upon for his defense and stretching the floor. Anything else he adds on a given night is a big bonus. He can do a lot more. It's just there's so many good players on that team, it's hard for him to really take over, you know? But they aren't asking him to go out, create his own bucket, do his own thing every night. He's kind of playing within himself. Could he do it? Yeah, he probably could. He has a solid handle for a big man, and he can hit moving shots. But this team is so good, once again, they don't really need him to do all that. Even if the Grizzlies start slumping, which we've seen a little bit this season, they have the roster to turn it around at any moment. They have a lot of talent over there. Now, there is one thing I want to point out. Many people will say Jaren is averaging 16.7 points a game. Why is he an All-Star? Those aren't All-Star numbers. Well, to be honest, they aren't. Those aren't All-Star offensive numbers. That doesn't discredit Jaren Jackson Jr. on offense, because he's a great offensive talent, we know that. But the reason he's an All-Star is because of the respect he commands through defense. Right now, Jaren Jackson Jr. is averaging 3.3 blocks per game, which lists him as the league's best shot blocker on NBA.com. Behind Jaren Jackson's 3.3 blocks per game is Nick Claxton, who's also having a great defensive season, coming in at 2.6 blocks per game. For blocks per game, this is a huge difference, and Jackson is clearly the front runner. But what has a lot of people talking is the games played of these two guys. Jaren Jackson has played 14 fewer games than Claxton so far this season. Claxton has played 54 games, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has only played 40. This is a gap that could be a warning of numbers that are slightly inflated on Jaren Jackson's side. Taking an honest look at NBA.com's official block leaders list, the minimum requirement of games seems to be 40. Jaren Jackson Jr. was not even on this list until today, after he's played his 40th game last night. Now that Jackson has broken 40 games played, he's sitting comfortably at the top of that leaderboard. Even if his blocks numbers may be a little inflated due to playing less games, what isn't inflated is Jaren Jackson's shot blocking ability. This guy is the real deal when it comes to blocking shots. There is no doubt he's one of the league's elite rim protectors right now. And there is no crazy conspiracy around his numbers. Nobody is padding stats here. He's going out and he is blocking a lot of shots every game. With his tall frame, quick feet, and his long wingspan, he has all the tools to be a great defender. So it's no wonder he actually is a great defender. Take a look at these interior defensive metrics from B-Ball Index. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the league leader, or 99th percentile, in 4 of the 7 interior defensive categories, with the other ones still being 90th percentile with the exception of rim deterrence. If this doesn't scream defensive all-star, one of the best defenders in the league, I don't know what does. Jaren Jackson Jr. is an elite defensive presence. That is not debatable. What is causing debate for a lot of people right now is that he was selected as an all-star. A lot of people don't believe Jaren Jackson Jr. should have been selected strictly because he has missed a lot of games this year. If he wasn't out a decent chunk of the year, I bet a lot more people would be accepting of this all-star selection. Even if the points per game aren't there, just off of the defense alone, he is very deserving. Right now, we're seeing a lot of people online talking like he's one of those guys that doesn't deserve it, one of those guys that barely got in, or somebody else got snubbed and he took their spot. And that is a false narrative. We've seen people selected as all-stars for defense before, and I'm glad people out there are still recognizing defense. Defense is a huge part of the game, and those players who can bring it on the defensive end are real game changers. They can turn the tide of a game by getting a steal, getting a block, a clutch stop on somebody. These type of players are deserving of being called all-stars if they're elite defensive players that make an impact on games night in and night out. The fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. is so great on defense and he is solid on offense as well, this is a no-brainer choice if he had played more games before this all-star selection. That's just my 2 cents. Jaren Jackson Jr. is deserving of being a 2023 all-star. What do you guys think about Jaren Jackson Jr.? Is he deserving of being an all-star this year? Did somebody else get snubbed and he took their spot? Is he truly an elite shot blocker, or do you think his numbers are inflated right now? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NBA content similar to this. Alright, that's all from me, and peace.